Paul from Les Bronx Guitars, and welcome back to my shop. This is part 5 of the series on how to build a set neck guitar. We left off with this neck in the last video, and it was uncarved in the back. Now it's carved. Okay, I'll show you the video on it, but at this point, this thing is ready for some fine sanding and some finish. And at the end of that, some polishing on the frets and everything. So it's pretty much there. The next thing we're going to do is going to work on the body. And I think for this video, we're going to make it the final one of the series after the body's done. I don't want to get into paint because it's just, it's a very long series. Kind of want to end it. But another thing too is, when I go into paint, I normally have several guitars to paint at the same time. So this project is taking a little bit of time. I haven't been putting videos out too much. I've got a lot going on with other guitars. This project right here is for a very close family member, so there's plenty of time on this one, so I haven't been rushing on this at all. It doesn't take me that long to build a guitar. It's just that I'm doing a video series for this, but in between I'm banging out a bunch of guitars. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video and finish it off. All right, I'm using these little abalone shell inlays here, and they contrast very nice with the maple binding. Just super glue them in. Nothing to it. Pretty simple. Alright, and that's it for that. Now with just a little sanding on it right here and level them out, and we're done with that. Let's go on to carving the back side of this neck. Let's carve the contour. Take a look at it real quick. Okay, that feels good in the hand right there. That feels pretty good. Very nice. Yeah, I just gotta, just fine sand the volute area here and the heel area here. But that's really all there is to it. And that's the shape I make on my guitars right there. Alright, so I finished the final depth, and I've got 1/4 inch of, or maybe just a hair over 1/4 inch of wood left on the back side. And where the belly cut's going to go, it's got this area right here where I've got enough material so that I won't carve into it. And I'm still able to get a little bit more, I mean not much, but a little bit more wood out of there. This is a pretty big pocket. These are the same depth, so it's looking good. I think if I was to do it again, instead of using these things, I use these things first. Put these on here with the template on it, and well, first of all, I cut down to this depth right here, all the way through, and then I put this piece on, cut down to that ledge right there. Put this piece on and cut the rest of the way down with these. And I did this on the fly. I think if I'm going to do it again, I am going to make a jig that has these steps on it already built into it somehow, pieces or whatever, maybe just a half, just a section of a jig just for this pocket. This works great all the way through. It doesn't have this belly cut, but the belly cut's important. It's got to be there. I like them. But anyway, so that's ready. And like I said earlier, when this gets cut out, this whole pocket right here for the electronics, it's just another cavity to lighten it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take the piece of this curly maple and I'm going to resaw it in half, and I'm going to make a top to do a carved top, and that's going to go on this. Alright, so that's next. Alright, so I took it out of the clamps and routed out the shape from my template. This thing's ready for pickup cavities, I should say, neck pocket, and a carve. So that'll be next. Alright, so this is my copy carver. I've done a video on this before, and I've kind of went into a little more in depth on how it works and everything. And you can go back and see that if you'd like to. But I did talk about how I was going to just change things on this. I haven't got around to it. I've been building other tools and jigs and fixtures and stuff like that. But this is definitely on the list to improve. I've got this oak that I use for this top mounting piece. Some bar stock, some round tube stock, I should say, whatever. I wanted to change all that. I wanted to go aluminum with everything. It just looks better. It'll be a little more rigid, although oak is pretty rigid. But overall, I just want to improve on it. I got ideas for this thing, and even how I mount the bodies into this. This works good, but anyway, I think I'm getting a little too deep into this. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve this body using this template right here, this surrogate body right here, and I'm not going to talk much more about it or show much video of it. I'm just going to show you basically what it does in a nutshell, in the beginning, then the end, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right? All right, now it's time for a bunch of sanding. Alright, so we've got the top carved out. It's looking good. And the neck is glued in. I put a little accent piece of curly maple on the heel right here. I thought that'd be a nice little touch. And yeah, I like the way it's coming out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a bridge on this. The bridge system is a tune-o-matic. It's going to have a tune-o-matic and a stop tail. So that is next. Let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, without getting too in depth into how one of these style bridge systems go in, I've got some lines marked on this body. I've measured out a specific measurement, and the numbers aren't going to matter for you because you may be using something different. But the stop tail piece is going to go on those marks. I've got my post distances right here, and that's where that's going to sit. The bridge itself is going to sit in this area. Like I said, that's already marked out. If you're doing it for the first time, one really helpful thing you can do, I will talk about here, is you can string it up, put the strings through a stop tail piece, slide this bridge underneath the strings, tune it up to pitch, and then you can move, you can slack up the strings, get this moving. You can move it back and forth like this, find that sweet spot. And what I generally do is I move this back a little bit, I move this up forward a little bit. That one's actually where it needs to be. This one here can go back a little bit. I'll probably do that if I can do that now, but so that I give myself a little bit of room on both sides for intonation. So normally Your scale length is spot on the high E string, and a little bit back, like an inch, like an eighth of an inch or so back that way for the low E string. Or if you know the numbers, you can just drill holes. So I'm just going to press on and drill these holes and get this part done with. All right, so I just spent about a day and a half, well, probably, I'll say a full day, on sanding this body, this guitar. I went from 80, and I love sanding. I love sanding. It's the best part of this. Okay, I love sanding. I went from 80 grit to 120 grit to 220 grit, and here it is. It's ready for paint. I'm gonna put some stain on it, and I'm gonna finish it. The guitar behind me here on the wall, that is one that I did along with this guitar, and you might have seen it in some of the footage because I probably messed up on some of the footage on this one, or I lost it or something. So hopefully I captured everything in a series of videos along with that guitar. They're almost the same, same lumbers. This is a carved top, and that one's they're both set necks, but it's a carved top, and that one is a drop top. So, I wasn't gonna get into the painting process, the finishing process, but I figured, you know, why not? Why wouldn't I? And the reason was I just didn't want to make these videos any more lengthy than they had to be. So I'm gonna do another video on finishing, but I'm gonna try not to make it lengthy. I'm gonna chop it down. I'm gonna just give it a gist, I guess. I can always do more videos later on certain stages of the process and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and finish this off with the finish. Finish off with the finish, right? Okay. So, with that said, we're gonna end this video here. Thank you for watching this series and keeping up with it. Hopefully, you suffered through it. The videoing of this kind of videoing is challenging. You know, I'm trying to build guitars, but I want to get this content out to everybody best I can. I am not a content creator. I'm a guitar builder, but I do this so I can share what I can with you all out there. So let's end it here. If you like these videos, or you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button on it. Share these videos if possible. And if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. Let's build the channel. All right, so we'll see you next time.